The night was quiet in Ouagadougou. Too quiet. President Ibrahim Traoré stood by the window of the palace, watching the city sleep. The wind was dry and full of dust, but he felt something else in the air, something wrong. For weeks, strange things had been happening. Military plans were leaking. Secret meetings were no longer secret. Enemies seemed to know too much. Ibrahim knew this wasn't luck. Someone close to him was a traitor. He felt it deep in his bones. Burkina Faso had broken free from foreign control. Ibrahim kicked out foreign troops. He took back the country's gold, its land, its voice. But the powerful countries were angry, and now they were trying to sneak back in with spies. Then, one night, he got a message. A young soldier named Captain Naba Zongo had found something strange. He was in the north, checking radio signals, when he picked up a secret message. It was hidden inside a fake farming report. But the message wasn't about farming. It had maps. It had names. It had secrets only the president's team should know. Ibrahim called a secret meeting at midnight. Only his closest people were allowed in. No phones, no outside contact. Zongo put the papers on the table. The traitor had a name. Colonel Désiré Ouattara, Traoré's old friend, a man he trusted with his life. The same man who now sat next to him in meetings. The same man who knew every detail of Burkina Faso's defenses. The room went cold. No one spoke. "He's been giving information to the foreigners," Zongo said. "He's been doing it for months." Ibrahim's heart was heavy, but his face stayed calm. He looked at everyone in the room. "No one moves," he said. "No one arrests him. We wait. We watch." He took a deep breath. "If there's a snake in this house, we don't kill it yet. First, we follow it to the nest." The hunt had begun. The next few days felt like walking through fire. Ibrahim Traoré went about his normal duties, shaking hands, giving speeches, holding meetings. But inside, he was watching every move, every word, every glance from Colonel Ouattara. The man smiled like nothing was wrong. He was calm, too calm. But behind the scenes, Ibrahim's secret team was working day and night. Captain Zongo and a group of trusted soldiers were following Ouattara quietly. They tapped his phone, tracked his car, and watched who he met. What they found was shocking. Colonel Ouattara had been sneaking out of the palace late at night. He always took a black car, no escort. And each time, he went to the same place. A quiet house near the French embassy. It looked empty, but Ibrahim knew better. It was a spy house. The team planted a tiny camera across the street. One night, they saw it. Ouattara entering the house and meeting two foreign men in suits. One of them was from the U.S., the other, a European. They gave him a black suitcase. He gave them a file. Inside that file was the president's travel plan for the next month. That was it. Proof. Ibrahim watched the video himself. He stood in his dark office, fists clenched. His own friend, the man who once took a bullet beside him in battle, was selling him out like a cheap product. But Ibrahim didn't get angry. He got smart. He picked up the phone and said only 2 words to Captain Zongo. "It's time." They prepared a trap. The next day, Colonel Ouattara was told to attend a security meeting at the top floor of the defense building. He walked in, like always, calm and smiling. But this time, there were no handshakes. Just 10 soldiers with guns, and President Ibrahim Traoré himself, waiting. The smile on Ouattara's face faded. "You were my brother," Ibrahim said, his voice like thunder. "Why?" Ouattara didn't speak. Ibrahim stepped closer. "You sold this country for what? Dollars? Promises? You think they'll protect you now?" Still no answer. Then Captain Zongo opened the suitcase. Money, tracking devices, and a hidden USB drive. "You're not going to prison," Ibrahim said coldly. "You're going to talk." The room went silent. A storm was coming. Colonel Ouattara sat alone in a cold, dark room underground. No windows, no clock. Just silence. He hadn't slept in 2 days. He was no longer the proud soldier. Now he looked like a broken man. President Ibrahim Traoré stood behind a one-way mirror, watching him. His face showed no emotion, but inside his heart was heavy. This was the man he once called a brother. They had shared food, stories, and war. Now they were enemies. Captain Zongo stepped into the room and placed the USB drive on the table. "We opened it," he said. "It's all there. Every file you gave them. Every secret." Ouattara looked down. "You don't have to talk," Zongo added. "But when they find out you've been caught, they'll throw you away like trash. They don't care about you. We're your only chance now." Hours passed. No answers. Then, finally, Ouattara broke. He started talking. He told them everything. The US and European agents had approached him 1 year ago. First, they offered compliments, then money, then promises, a house in Paris, a job with the UN, power after Ibrahim fell. They wanted to control Burkina Faso again, its gold, its land, its politics, and he believed them. "I thought they would protect me," he said softly, "but now I see. They were using me." Ibrahim entered the room. He sat across from his old friend. For a long moment there was silence. Then Ibrahim spoke, calm but firm. "You didn't just betray me. You betrayed the people, the mothers in the villages, the soldiers fighting every day. You sold their future." Ouattara couldn't look him in the eye. "I'm sorry," he whispered. Ibrahim stood. "You'll answer for what you've done, but first, you'll help us stop them." And so began a new mission, a secret plan. Ibrahim and his team would use Ouattara's contacts to feed false information back to the foreign spies. They would turn the game around. They would strike from within. For every lie sent out, they planted a trap. For every message received, they learned their enemy's next move. Soon, one embassy official vanished. Another was quietly flown out of the country. A third was exposed in the media. Burkina Faso was no longer the hunted. It was the hunter. And at the center of it all stood Ibrahim Traoré, calm, brave, and unshaken. A leader who didn't just fight with weapons. He fought with truth, courage, and heart. The shadow war had begun, but the people now had a guardian. Their lion was awake. The days that followed felt like walking on fire. President Ibrahim Traoré knew he couldn't rest. The enemy was powerful, rich, silent, but now they were also blind. With Colonel Ouattara's help, they fed lies to the foreign agents, fake documents, made-up plans, even false military routes. The spies believed everything. They trusted Ouattara. They thought the game was still theirs. But they were falling into a trap. Captain Zongo ran the entire operation from a hidden room deep in the Ministry of Defense. There were maps on the walls, blinking lights, and radios buzzing day and night. Ibrahim visited every night in secret, guiding every move. Then, the big chance came. One of the foreign agents, a man named Reed, working under the title of Agriculture Advisor, sent a message. He wanted to meet Colonel Ouattara at a safe house just outside the capital. He said it was urgent. He wanted to secure the next phase. That meant one thing. They were planning something big, something dangerous. Ibrahim's eyes burned with fire. "We end this now," he said. He ordered a full silent operation. No uniforms, no noise, just shadows. At midnight, Colonel Ouattara entered the safe house, wearing a hidden mic and a tiny tracker in his belt. His hands were shaking. He knew this could be the end of him if things went wrong. But he also knew he owed it to his country. Inside, Reed and another European agent were already waiting. "You've been quiet," Reed said coldly. "Is the president suspicious?" Ouattara kept his face calm. "He trusts me. I brought the next phase files. He handed them a fake folder. Then Reed leaned closer. You need to be ready. It's time to finish him. The president must fall before the elections. Outside the safe house, Ibrahim was listening through the headset. His eyes narrowed. His jaw tightened. That was it. He gave the order. Like ghosts in the night, Zongo's team moved in. Doors burst open. In seconds, the room was surrounded. Reed and his partner froze. Guns were pointed at their heads. You're under arrest, Zongo said. You have no right, Reed shouted. We're diplomats. Not tonight, Zongo replied. Tonight, you're caught. As the agents were dragged away, Ibrahim stepped into the room. No guards, no weapon, just him. Reed looked at him with hatred. You think you've won? I didn't win, Ibrahim said calmly. Burkina Faso did. The world woke up the next morning to shocking headlines. Foreign spies caught in Burkina Faso espionage plot. Traoré exposes secret plan to destabilize government. Embassies went silent. Foreign statements were full of excuses. But inside, they knew. They had been stung. And the man who led the sting? A soldier, a patriot, a lion who would not kneel. The morning after the arrests, the sun rose differently over Ouagadougou. It was brighter, stronger. Like the land itself could feel the truth had come to light. Crowds gathered outside government buildings, radios buzzed in market stalls, and people whispered in the streets. The president caught them. They were going to destroy us, and he stopped them. Ibrahim Traoré saved the country. Inside the Koshiam Palace, Ibrahim stood alone on the rooftop, staring out over his people. He didn't smile. His face was calm. But inside him was fire, not of anger, but of duty. He had made it through the shadows, but the war was far from over. He called a national address that evening. No fancy words, no long speeches. He walked to the podium, wearing his army uniform. Simple, sharp, and full of meaning. The whole country watched. I speak to you tonight not as a president, he said, but as your brother, your son, your soldier. His voice was steady. His eyes were strong. Foreign powers tried to poison our nation from the inside. They used one of our own to steal our plans, our dreams, and our future. They wanted chaos. They wanted fear. He paused. The room was silent, but they failed. The crowd outside cheered. People clapped in homes, in tea shops, even in the remote villages where electricity was rare, but respect for courage was deep. I will never sell this country, he said. Not for gold, not for deals, not for power. Burkina Faso belongs to its people, and I swear to protect it with my life. He raised his hand high. This is my oath. I will never kneel to foreign masters. Never again. The words hit like thunder. Across the continent, young leaders listened. Activists cheered. Even elders, who once doubted him, now nodded with pride. Traoré was more than a president now. He was a symbol, a shield. Later that night, as the city returned to peace, Ibrahim sat with Captain Zongo under the stars. You did well, he told the young man. Zongo smiled. I followed your lead, sir. Ibrahim looked up at the sky. They'll try again, maybe in another way, maybe with another face. Then we'll stop them again, Zongo said. Ibrahim nodded slowly. Yes, as long as we stand together. They'll never take this land. And with that, the lion rested. But only for a moment, because heroes like Ibrahim Traoré don't sleep for long. They rise with the people, they fight in silence, and they protect the future with fire in their hearts.